Namaste. Hello. Welcome, everyone. This is Kevin Ikov from Kevin Ikov Ministries. But today's thing is on the cube. And today we're going to do the cube. And it's a wonderful, fun thing to learn about personality and the development of personality. And how does this equate to spirituality and development in spirituality? Because one should look at one's spirituality, personality first, because you're going to go from little self to big self. And if you go from little self to big self, you want to look at your personality, who you are, and know truly who you are first in that personality and develop from there. Because when you develop the whole thing and understand what you need to let go of or gain or correct or fix it, it's basically through that personality. And that's how you use it spiritually. And so it's a fun tool to use spiritually to see growth in a personality. And you can do it now and maybe many, many years later, try it again and see if things change. And that would be a fun experiment. But this was developed there is a psychology to it. I forget who actually. I think it was developed in China or Japan. I can't remember the man who developed it, and I apologize for that. But anyway, get a pencil, a paper, something to write with. Don't cheat yourself. Be honest, because you're doing this personality test for yourself. It's not about me. It's about you. Don't put down what you think the right answer is. There's no right answer. It's about showing who you truly are to yourself in a personality type test. And it's called the cube. And so get the pencil and paper and get ready to draw or write it down, whatever you're more visual, however you want to do it. But have the answers there and be honest. Be honest with yourself. So you can close your eyes as I'm saying it as well and do it this way. And I want you to see a desert. And imagine what kind of desert that is. Does the desert have a lot of sand? Is it more of a flat desert? And it has cactuses and bushes and maybe snakes and different things in it. Decide what kind of desert it is. And then in this desert, imagine a cube. And imagine what kind of cube it is. Is it a solid cube? Is it a translucent cube? Does it have color to it? Is it spiny? And imagine where it sits in this desert. Is it above ground? Is it below ground? Is it close? Is it far? Where is it in the desert? And then I want you to think of a ladder. And where that ladder is in relation to the cube. Is it laying next to the cube? Is it standing up to the top of the cube? Or is it off in the distance? Where's that ladder? And then I want you to next think of a horse. And think what kind of horse it is. And what color the horse is. And where is that horse in the relation to the cube? And then I'd like you to think of flowers. Flowers in relationship to the cube. And how many flowers? Are they close to the cube? Are they near the cube? Are they inside the cube? or there's no flowers at all. There's a desert, nothing. So what for you? And then in the distance or wherever there's a storm or weather in the desert, and you can decide what kind of weather it is. Is it a lightning storm? Is it hail? Is it snow? Recently it snowed in the desert. It's all up to you. And where is that storm in relationship to you, to the cube? Where is that storm? Where is the storm in the desert? And just now go back and look and think and see if all those answers that I'm going to just go real quick through it. The initial one is the desert. You're thinking of some kind of desert. The second one, you're thinking of a cube. And there can be color to it too. But whatever you put there for it, you can make it more elaborate. The third thing you're thinking of is the horse and where that is in relationship to the cube. Is it way off in the desert, out in the sands, or is it close by? You're thinking of flowers and where they are in relationship to the cube, or none of them. And then the next is like a storm or whatever, where it is in relationship to the cube or whatever, and what kind of storm it may be. And so I hope you wrote down your honest answers here, because the next one is basically what they mean. And so if you're in the desert and it's just a sandy, dry desert, pretty much dead, you tend to be a person who thinks pessimistic. If you have a desert that has more grassy and plain-like fields and has some like snakes and animals and things in it, you're very optimistic, an optimistic thinker. If the desert is like one of those things you see in the perfect picture of the desert, you tend to have a very analytical and cautious mind. And now for the cube. The cube represents you more or less. It's your ego. If it's a smooth cube, you're a gentle person who takes care not to hurt others, but to make them feel uncomfortable. A rough cube, you're more straightforward. You tend to be honest in everything you say, no matter how it might affect the person you're talking to. A bumpy or spiky cube, you have a tendency to criticize others in an attempt to make them feel inferior to you. The color of the cube, if you think of a red cube, you're physically active, you enjoy rich sensory experiences. If it's yellow, you're sociable and cherish your individuality. If it's blue, you're intelligent and respect others' ideals. If it's violet, you're intelligent and a bit of a perfectionist. You're also mysterious. If it's gray, you're self-confident, independent, and not easily rattled. If it's black, you have a strong sense of individuality and independence, and you put high values on alone time. And if it's white, you're kind, independent, and self-reliant. And if the cube is transparent, you let others know how you feel on the inside. You're confident enough to show more of your inner thoughts and who you are. If the cube is made out of water or ice, uh, it shows that you have external elements that influence your complexity. You have sensitivity to social pressures and relationships and other environmental factors. If the cube's hollow, it means that you're primarily concerned with your outside appearance, with far less care for what's going on within. However, it doesn't mean that you have nothing really to offer on the inside. A cube made out of metal or rock indicates you have solid integrity. Your personality is so strong that it cannot be bent or influenced by any external force. You are dominant and consistent. And the ladder represents different aspects of your life and your goals and your friendships. And so if it's a short ladder, your goals are realistic and simple. If it's a long ladder, your goals are more sort of far-fetched and difficult to obtain. The distance the ladder is to the cube. If it's near the cube, you're putting maximum effort and focus into achieving your goals. If it's far, you're not really putting much thought on your efforts or achieving your goals. Also, if the ladder is close to the cube, you're close with your friends. If it's leaning on the cube, it means that your friends can lean on you for support. If it's far from the cube, you have a hard time opening up to people and letting them get close to you. And then depending on what that ladder's made of, whether it's made of aluminum or wood, or the stronger the material, if it's made of metal, stone, that's the stronger bond you have with your friends and that kind of thing. A weak ladder indicates a weak bond between you and those that you're close to and around you and your friends. The horse represents your ideal partner. It could be playing, running around, could be grazing or eating some little grass or food near a cube, or it could be clear across far in the desert. Your ideal life partner, if he's playing, doesn't take life real seriously or get bogged down by little stuff. If the horse is running, it represents your ideal partner. Someone who respects your space and gives you that alone time that you crave. If it's a brown horse, he prizes comfort and reliability above all else, or that's what you seek. That's what you want in your partner. You don't have a specific set of expectations for your partner if you're looking at a brown horse. If it's a black horse, your ideal partner is dominant, more seductive, and sophisticated. If your horse is sleeping or grazing, eating, having a little grass, nibbling by a bush, the partner's calm and committed to you. If it's a white horse, partner values loyalty and trust, and more than anything else in that relationship. And then the flowers represent children or family. Can be either one. It depends on sort of how you saw yourself in that desert. Different things I looked at sort of spoke at different things. But if the closer the flowers are to the relationship to the cube is how close you are to your children. And the amount of flowers that there are, or how many children you wish to have. If there's lots of flowers everywhere, or lots of cactuses that have flowers everywhere in the desert, like some deserts have, they're loaded with cactuses, and all the cactuses have flowers on them. I've seen them. I like to hike, and I've seen deserts with flowers like that. So there are going to be lots of flowers everywhere. That basically says you're a social butterfly, and you'd like to be around a lot of people, or you'd like to have a lot of people in your life throughout life. If it's a big desert, you have a lot of cactuses in it with a lot of flowers in it. It means that you're sort of that social butterfly, and then again with the flowers, maybe there's just one or two, or none. And what's the relationship again to the cube? Where are they to the cube? If they're close to the cube, you like to be close to your children, like your children near you. Some people only have one flower, some people have one. And then the storm that I asked you to imagine or whatever, what kind of storm was it? Was it a rainstorm? Was it foggy? Was it windy? Was it sunny? Hailing? Whatever kind of storm. And so if it was sunny, you're optimistic, you're confident. If it's windy, you tend to worry about your future issues, and generally don't really let them get you down for long. If it's foggy, uncertainty, you may be struggling with some of your identity, or a sandstorm, same kind of thing. If it's like a big sandstorm, same kind of thing. You feel uncertain in life, not sure. If it's rainy, it symbolizes, the stronger that rain, the more powerful it is, the bigger the problem. Or hail, the bigger the problem it is, the bigger the size hail ball you're thinking, the bigger the problems that are hitting you all the time in life. It's that kind of thing. That's what that represents. And then, how long was that storm there? How long did you imagine it? Or if you did imagine it at all, how long was it there? Was it in the background? Or, where were you? Where was that cube in relationship to that storm? If you remember me talking about that, where was that storm? If it was just passing through, you're not really a person who's much immune to stress and things going on, and you kind of know that all things have to pass, no matter how bad they seem to be. Like, you tend to be very optimistic. You're an optimistic thinker. If the storm was far away in the desert, any obstacles that may be causing you grief or problems or things that you see are they're not really in the forefront of your life. They're not in the forefront of your mind, and you're good at basically managing your anxiety. And if you're right in the eye of the storm with the cube, where the cube is right over the storm or in the cube, pretty much when you're kind of stressed, you go all in, and basically you have a very hard time pulling yourself back out. That storm's with you, and how long that kind of remains in that cube, that's how stressed you basically are in your life. And if you were right above your cube, the storm's right above it, like not inside the cube, but above the cube, you're affected by the stress. You have a hard time seeing past that stress. but you're able to get back to the bigger picture sometimes. You still are inside that cube. You're not, like, the cube represents you. You're not completely overwhelmed by that. So you're still kind of well, taken over by that bigger picture. And so anyway, who are you? You know, that's the whole thing. They're the pieces. That's the definition of it. Everybody's different. Everybody's an individual. How does that relate to your spiritual growth? And, you know, I don't know if I mentioned all the things. Like, I think I kind of forgot to mention about the outside of the cube as well. Like, you know, if it was spiky, if it was bumpy, all of that represents you. You know, you can be a sharp, difficult person to deal with in life. If the bumps are in the inside of the cube, you know, that can represent, you know, that's with you on the inside as well as the outside. So, and you can, you know, it's how detailed you make it. I didn't talk about everything that the thing represents. I hope this test was fun for you, first off, and showed you something about your personality. Look at who you are first. Try to help develop a good, strong personality. Look at the defects. Look at the good things. Take the things out you don't want there. Work on those issues. That's what it's about. Working on the issues, fixing the things you don't want there. That's what spirituality is a lot about. It's looking about the inner self, developing the inner self, looking at those inner issues and things that are there, but enjoying that, having fun with it. Doesn't mean, oh man, look at how I am. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to know how you are and develop and work on those things. Self-development is a very important thing spiritually. You want to develop. You want to develop all your aspects of who you are, or see all those aspects, because that's still all a part of you, no matter what they are. And you should learn to enjoy those. And so I hope this helps you learn something about your personality, who you are. And I hope, you know, me being back is a good thing. And I again thank my video photographer so much. Welcome back, everybody. Namaste, Jai Bhagwan. I hope that you're able to see the light within yourself and within each and every one.